Whoa. All right. Hey, it is Bud Light game night, except it's the middle of the afternoon.
It's crazy.
Bud Light afternoon just doesn't rhyme off or roll off the tongue the way Bud Light game night does.
Well, I heard the next round in Anchorage, Alaska in the summer. This is their Bud Light game night.
Is this the way it works for them out there?
Yeah. I had a buddy that played professional baseball in the Alaskan League.
Right.
And he said it was a complete trip for a full month. They did not have
I would hate
darkness.
it. I think I saw on Twitter recently.
But you know, it's worth it on the other side when you have
24 hours. It never goes down.
30 nights of dark.
I've got I know. And I saw that on Twitter recently. They call it, I know this sounds simplistic, but I think it's the Alaskan sunset or wherever the sunset was shot. And the thing on Twitter said, we will not see the sun again for 30 days. And I'm like, God, how miserable does that sound?
Well,
it's the last time it'll set for 30 days.
That's why the suicide rate, one of the reasons is so high.
I would imagine. I've got a neighbor that lived there for a couple of years. And I was talking to them one time, and they were talking about, like, in the Alaskan summer, or whenever it is daylight all the time, I guess that's summer, obviously, they have to put foil over the windows.
Yeah, so girlfriend's grandparents live in Alaska. And so she spent some time up there. I'd love to go, though.
Oh, I've always wanted to visit, yeah.
Yeah, and we've talked about cruises on the show. I've never really wanted to do a cruise, but I would do a river European cruise, and I think I would do an Alaskan cruise.
I've never really wanted to do a cruise, but an Alaskan or a European cruise might be. Like, I don't know that I want to do a Caribbean cruise. Dunaway, you've done them.
Done two.
I've done two, too.
Yeah.
One was the traditional intro to cruising Carnival cruise out of New Orleans.
That's right. Cruising for dummies, basically.
Yeah, and I'd give it a C- on that one.
Okay.
But it stopped in some really cool places.
Yeah.
Like LT always says he likes on the boat for the cruising. You're
an off the boat guy.
That one I enjoyed. We went to Roatan. Is that it?
Yeah, Roatan's just off my wife has been to Roatan. I've never been. Just off the coast of Honduras.
Yep. And then there was one place that we got off and went on an excursion where we went to one of the great reefs and big sandbar out in the middle of nowhere. Can't see land. And Maggie and the kids, they start throwing decapitated fish and the fish heads out in the water to bring stingrays and sharks.
So that's what we call chumming.
And
chumming the old water.
And then people were getting in the water and petting the stingrays and sharks.
Okay.
And I was pointing out to Maggie that this is just two guys who, they don't have any credentials. We're in a foreign country.
Right.
And how are we throwing chum in the water and only the good sharks are coming up?
That's right.
And not the bad sharks.
Because the shark doesn't know you're going to get sued for liability. He really doesn't care.
That's right. That's when I got my kids out of the water and left my wife in the water. I said, you can pet whatever you want to. I'm getting my kids out of the water because I don't trust these two blowhards who are throwing dead fish into the water to bring only the good sharks.
Yeah, we went to the Caymans one year, and I think we weren't doing a show. I was doing the show with Ian. And so we went to Stingray Island. And the interesting thing was, so we didn't do a cruise. We actually just went to the Caymans for a week. And we went to a city called Hell. Have you guys ever heard of that?
I have heard of it, yeah.
I've driven through it.
Yeah. It was hot as hell.
Oh, I would bet.
But the other thing, in Stingray City, we're out there, and one of the dive instructors is taking people snorkeling down to look at a moray eel. And I don't know if you've ever seen a moray eel. If you've ever seen the movie The Deep.
The Deep, yeah.
Same guy that wrote The Deep, Peter Benchley, wrote Jaws. But Louis Gossett Jr. gets his head taken off by a moray eel in the end. It very sensationalized. But we had seen earlier that day a barracuda. So they were doing like barracuda fatalities, none. But moray eels had taken people's arms off down there. We were like swimming around with it.
So that's after Louis Gossett Jr. was in Iron Eagles. Wasn't he in Iron Eagle?
He was. Iron Eagle was 1985.
Yeah.
I think I'm correct on that, 85 or 86. And The Deep was 1977.
It felt like Iron Eagle tried to be Top Gun. It was like it was poor man's Top Gun.
It was before Top Gun.
I thought Top Gun was 84.
No, I think Top Gun was 86.
And Iron Eagle, I thought they said, so it was before Top Gun?
Yeah, it was close. Now, maybe Iron Eagle was 87.
I thought it was 87. I thought it came out after Top Gun.
No, you know what? It's close.
86 for who? Iron Eagle? What's Top Gun? 86? It seemed like I remembered Top Gun came out, and then everybody was like, Iron Eagle, man, it's another Top Gun. Let's all go see it. And then you're like, Top Gun was better.
Kid, I loved Iron Eagle.
Yeah.
And Little Queen in Iron Eagle.
Thank you. Little Queen?
Yeah.
Yeah. We are live at the Walk-On Stadium Trace location, which is just off 150 and 459 near the Hoover Met. You can swing by here. What kind of Bud Light deals we got going here? Look at that beer right there. I like the little
so
bubbles
this
going.
Bud Light is, I will tell you what the price point on this is.
Is that a 20 ounce?
This is a 20 ounce.
Does that drink pretty good? Drink pretty good, don't it?
It drink good. It drink good. Bottles $4. Pints are $4.25. This is actually a 22 ouncer. This is only $6.50.
What a deal.
If you're looking for a lunch value, just come get you a Bud Light.
Yep. That is a value right
Pack
there.
of saltines.
Uh-huh.
Get out of here under $7.
And you're good to go. Walk-Ons would probably rather you order off menu, but whatever.
I'll never forget at Homewood Middle School, saltine packs were 10 cents.
Because all the kids would just grab handfuls of
Yeah, but I would pay the extra. I'd like try to bring an extra quarter. I'd get me a couple of packs of saltines.
Did you, when you had chili in high school, did you crush them up in the bag and then dump the bag in there?
Yeah,
I did too.
I mean, basically make it powder before you even open it up.
But you know what's funny? We were talking about chili earlier on the next round today, and that was my food in the 4 downs that instead of going out and buying, I like to make myself.
Right.
But I never use crackers in mine. Do you guys use crackers in
chili?
Yeah.
No, very rarely.
No,
I
did back then, Brownie, but now with our Fiesta soup, you guys hate Fritos, but I'll throw a little dollop of
sour cream,
and then surround it with Fritos on the top, and then make sort of a crunchy top layer.
See, our Fiesta soup, Jennifer serves with tortilla chips. You don't go tortilla chips?
No, I'm not a big fan of tortilla chips.
You just ate some.
Just ate a bunch of them
With queso, not with my Fiesta soup or chili.
Oh, don't be weird on that.
I'll save that for my sauces.
You gotta have the one that smells like dog's feet.
Yeah, I hate Fritos. I've just never been a Frito guy.
Man, if it's not your way, it's the highway when it comes to Dunaway, is it not? I mean, if it's not, I mean,
you guys are the ones debating it. I was just stepping in. You just dogged out the way he does it.
Yeah.
Here comes Morgan Wallen if it had not gone well for him.
Poor man's Morgan Wallen.
Yeah. If he had never written a hit.
That looks nothing like Morgan.
No, it's Morgan if he never wrote a hit, though.
Yeah,
That's what he looked like.
He'd be working hard, shaving his head.
If I go crackers sometimes with chili, like it's super hot when Jennifer serves it, and I'll dip some Townhouse crackers in it. Like I'll dip it and eat the cracker. Or we'll take Hawaiian rolls and slice them in half and then melt the cheese on the Hawaiian rolls, and I'll dip that in there. That's so good.
Now, Dunaway told me when we were talking about grilled cheese and chilies, he talked about the peanut butter.
Yes.
And never really done that.
What I did is one of the stacks I've always got in my house is the pretzel that is filled with the peanut butter.
I love those.
And I'll put those in the chili sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's good.
Not a big peanut butter guy, but that is one way I do like it is in the pretzel.
I'm shocked. As much as you like to eat, 2 things that really don't jump out to you: peanut butter and bacon. And those 2 flavors are incredible.
Yeah.
Even together, like peanut butter bacon on a hamburger. Wow.
So me and
There's a
Dunaway,
bourbon with peanut butter and bacon.
Yeah. So
I think I've had that as birdie juice on the golf course as shots.
So me and Dunaway were at a restaurant in Auburn the day of the Iron Bowl, famous restaurant. No, I'll just go ahead and say it. Acre, David Bancroft's deal down there. Acre is phenomenal.
Never eaten there.
World class. I mean, people, like they say when Tim Cook comes to Auburn games, he rents out the back room basically for all his traveling parties.
Can he afford it?
I bet they don't run his credit on that.
This week newsletter, one of my newsletters.
1440?
I think this was on Hustle.
Hustler?
Apple closed this week one day evaluation $3 trillion.
Is that all?
$3 trillion.
Yeah, but they want you to buy another phone in a year.
Yeah,
that's how you get to $3 trillion, my friend.
Apple's a bunch of bastards.
Hey, so but anyway, we're at Acrelands and we get done with our meal, which we had gone appetizer, big meal, and then they're like the family sitting next to us. They were Birmingham people. I don't know if we need to call it their name or not, so I won't. But very nice couple. Were talking to us the whole time. They're from Birmingham, and they're like, "Are y'all going to have dessert?" And we said, "Yeah, probably we will." And they're like, "The peanut butter pie here is the greatest of all time." And in fact, the couple were so nice. As he's closing out, he goes, "Let me close out and put a peanut butter pie for them," like we were dating. Put a piece of peanut butter pie for them on our ticket. Oh, man, thank you. That is so nice. But this world-famous peanut butter pie.
Brown said, "Thank you. That's so nice. Thanks for accepting us."
Yeah.
And I was like,
so
really nice.
This is my partner.
So then I ask for a dessert menu. And everybody around's like, they just ordered peanut butter pie. It's the best in the world. And I was like, I'm just not a big peanut butter guy.
One peanut butter pie, 1 spoon.
Yeah.
I got
by the way, it came out and it's got the marshmallows on top, but they're not melted yet. So they light up that blowtorch.
Yeah, I mean it is super
They
extra.
melt them and roast them at the top.
right there at the table.
Did you
So
get
good.
the other day? Who brought the donuts to us?
Dunaway.
Yeah, so you got the bacon donut.
I did.
And I never had it. Did you try it?
I didn't eat any of those donuts, and I do appreciate you bringing them, Jim. I just was not in a donut mood that day.
I try to avoid donuts.
Yeah.
If you want to get really fat quickly, that's
Yeah.
what you do is eat
Now,
donuts.
my little one loves her some donuts,
but I tried the bacon with it, man. It was good.
They come two ways. One of them is maple, like I think that one was maple and bacon.
It did look that. Yeah.
And then there's I think a caramel and bacon. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's really good too.
Yeah, caramel is my favorite of all that. I
Yeah.
love caramel.
Yeah, the salted caramel Jenny's ice cream.
See,
man.
I'm not a big salted caramel guy, though. I am.
But
I
see,
can be
the
a little
caramel
particular with
already
stuff.
has salt. It's just more.
I don't need more of it.
Yeah, but don't you salt your food, which I never do.
Sometimes depends on if it needs it or not. I take a couple bites first.
I
Sometimes
will
it needs
never insult the chef and salt my food.
Well, I mean, if the chef is Chick-fil-A, I don't think they really, are that wound up about it.
Speaking of which, old Brookwood Mall, one of the second Chick-fil-A ever in Birmingham. The first was, believe it or not, Eastwood Mall. Very good. Century Plaza.
Yeah, exactly.
But we used to go every Friday night, just about in Saturday nights, and we'd always go to Chick-fil-A. We thought it would be funny to unscrew one of the salt shakers. God, we were
Right.
so bad.
Yep.
And it ended up backfiring because my brother Shane ended up trying to salt his Chick-fil-A sandwich and the entire salt shaker.
How pissed would you have gotten?
Oh, he punched me.
That's how pissed. One time we used to have, do you know, they may have them in here. Where's that salt shaker? No, they don't. They've got the grinder. But they were, I think Wendy's had them, and they were like, it's like a brown plastic, and then the bottom is clear plastic, so you can see which one's salt, which one's pepper. And you could flick a dime and spin the dime and slam it down on top of it. It would bust the bottom. So the next person that picked it up, salt just goes everywhere.
I remember, hey, will you hand me that little tea?
What a turd thing to do, man.
Let me see if I can get this.
Boy, teenagers are the worst doing stupid stuff like
I
that.
think I can.
We
I haven't
used
done
to-
this in a while. It's not
We
a-
used to.
Oh,
put-
you're going to tilt it?
yeah.
Yeah, I used to do that.
See, I don't know if it'll do it with the
Yeah,
rock.
that's too much.
Maybe not. Anyway, go ahead.
By the way,
we used to put little pieces of paper on the inside of the salt shaker to where it would you'd put it up around the holes
yeah.
to when you turn it, it would no salt would come out. You'd be like, nothing would be coming out. It did suck.
We did stupid stuff as kids, didn't we?
Well,
Oh
we,
my
didn't, we didn't
God.
have the internet.
Yeah.
I told you we had that toy store right outside of Rich's at Brooklyn
Yeah.
Mall. And so the security guys that wore these green jackets, and they were a dark, almost a forest green. And so we would go in there and we would push each other through like toy displays and knock all the
Right.
toys down. And they would call security, and security chase us around the mall.
Yeah.
Then we got banned from Brookwood a couple of times.
What are we about to do here?
Well,
I don't know if it's
I'm
going to work.
going to read this because Who Dat for Life Chris paid $5 to get it on there. That's super chats is what we call that. You can pay $5 and we'll put you right on. The Bama and Final Four outrage is deafening, but any mention of Connor Stallion scandal is silent. That has gone away, hasn't it? The old
sure
Connor
has.
Stallions. Do you worry about that if you're Alabama, you think?
I don't think you do. I think what happened here, and I don't know if you guys would agree, is they played 2 games, Connor Stallion free,
Yeah. And what happened
against
to both
quality
those games?
opponents, and they dominated.
Yeah. Who Dat for Life Chris, also, same guy. Don't know why I reintroduced him. Bama hate exhaustion clearly overtakes, quote unquote, the integrity of the game. The FU sympathizers preach on and on about. So there you go. Those are his thoughts on the playoffs.
I told Brown this morning that it is starting to flip the other way on Florida State. A lot of the country now is starting to say, all right, now shut the hell up. There are people now that are clapping back like, hey,
We've had enough.
what Orlovsky said.
Yeah.
I always knew it was going to be the SEC champion in there.
Well,
the
We've
question
got
became, was it
division
going to
in
be
this
2?
country? We've got
Yeah.
a bad economy, and you're worried about getting snubbed.
well, the same thing, though, happens if you'll think about it with the NCAA basketball tournament. Like, there's always the bitching about who did not get in and who did get in. And the tournament tips Thursday, so you quickly move on from that, right?
Yeah.
The problem is this tournament does not tip Thursday. There's
Yeah.
plenty of time to keep talking about
But
this.
you know what,
to your point is, my team didn't get in. Dang, 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 dang. God, I got to have our bracket
That's
in
right.
at the office by 6.
That's right. Don't forget play-in game tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you quickly turn the page on the NCAA tournament. You can't quickly turn the page here because this game does not kick for another, what are we still, 25 days away?
You know, the funny thing is people do let it go in college basketball, but a team like Florida Atlantic played for the national championship last year. And look, I know they earned their way in, but There are some teams that were as good as Florida Atlantic in the regular
Well,
season.
think about it. If UAB had beat them in the conference championship game, there's a good chance Florida Atlantic would not have been in the tournament.
Yeah. And watching them the other night against Illinois, they're good.
Yeah. Robert says he bought a pint of Jenny's salted caramel yesterday at Pepper Place on Southside, $15 worth every dime.
Damn, he paid $15 for a pint. You get it at Publix for $9.
He said it's worth every dime.
That's not as fresh there, LT. That's been packaged and shipped.
Yeah, but Jenny's
Jenny's in the back at Pepper Place.
They tried to get too cool, and they did away from with salted caramel in their brick and mortar for a little bit.
You tipped me off on what was it?
I'm about to give up on this, by the way.
Yeah.
I think what it is the old salt shakers were more square
Probably so.
or had.
I think being on the tablecloth is going to hurt you a little bit too. I didn't want to bring that up, but I like watching.
That's so close.
Yeah, very close. But the thing is, you got to stick it, and then you blow the salt out.
That's right. So you
and
can't tell it's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob says college buddies at the beach put sand from their shoes in the salt shakers at the Waffle House PCB.
Oh,
what an awful thing to do!
Come on, that should be you should be arrested. For
you
that.
should choke on your Waffle House steak.
Jim wants you arrested for that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at that point, I'm eating your foot sand. Come on.
Yeah. No, I agree.
By the way, I heard the worst choking story ever.
Oh, we did.
Yeah,
we did.
we
can't
won't bring it up.
No.
I did. I was talking about it last night. I was like,
no,
it's one of those. I think in 3 or 4 years we can.
Yep. I don't
generically
know.
bring it up.
It's always going to be somebody local.
This feels like it's going to go in the steak bets we never talk about category right here. It's a great story that we can't talk about. Hal 5150 says, "What is Lance doing?" Do you know how many times we asked that question?
Okay, yeah, I'm giving it up. Little T, I'm gonna pass that to you.
Thank you, Little T.
My old man used to put salt in beer sometimes.
Do you remember me telling you when I went to Monowai?
He would run out of salt.
Mine would do it.
He was out of salt.
Mine would do it too.
The Morton shaker wasn't near big enough.
Did your old man do it too?
Oh yes.
I never got that. Really.
I think he still does occasionally. If he thinks the beer's a little skunky or something, I think he throws it in there. He's not. He's not
Jimmy
like, Senior. James Senior's not a send it back kind of guy.
Yeah, no. If I got a skunky beer, I'll send it back.
Yeah.
I remember putting it on the beverage napkin.
Yeah.
And that way it wouldn't stick to it. But
yeah. So so when I was in Monowai, one thing that jumped out at me is all the Nebraskans there in that little pub would get their Bud Light or whatever beer they were drinking. They would sip the top off of it, and then they would take a bottle of tomato juice and pour it in.
The old red eye?
They call it a red eye, yeah. Have y'all ever done that?
I have not.
No.
I didn't know why that area of Nebraska did that. I don't know what it supposedly does. It cut like the saltiness? I mean, the tomato juice is pretty salty.
Might be a shout out to Big Red.
I don't know what it is, but they would do it. I mean, all of them. Like they had most of the time, Miss Elsie was not there, so it was just honor system. Like you'd get the beer and then you would write down how many you had at the end.
Have you done a welfare check on her?
I have not, but I assume I'll see if she dies. Wouldn't you think that's news if she dies?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, because that town's done, right?
Oh yeah, I mean she's the only resident there, and the mayor and everything, and it's just become a big story about her.
Monowai sounds like a place in the country we would have tested nuclear weapons.
I can't express to you, Jim, how far in the middle of nowhere it is. Like we don't have middle of nowhere in Alabama the way they do in Nebraska.
Hey,
you can go deep into the woods in Alabama, but you go through a bunch of little small towns.
I bet it's got the best crime rate in all of America.
Well, she's the only one there. Yeah, she'd probably shoot you in the head if you try to break in her.
Somebody takes her out.
Well, nobody knows.
It's going to be the worst crime rate.
Yeah, it's true.
You're in Indiana.
The entire population. Yep.
She's still alive. We've been told she's still alive. Great news, America. Drink up.
Do you have age? I mean, she's knocking on 100. Huh? 88. Okay. 88. Not knocking on 100 at all. 88.
Like a pedicure today.
Sweet lady.
It does sound great. Like, hey, did you get subpoena? Are you going to the Hill to testify on Monowai?
The Monowai incident?
Yeah, the Monowai scandal.
But, you'll go through a town, Dunaway, and this is, just 2-lane road. You'll go through a town, and you don't see another town or house for 20 minutes. It's just like nothing but farmland for 20 minutes. It is so boring out there. They're really nice people.
The way it used to be on the drive to Auburn, but you don't get many blank spaces on the way to Auburn.
Nope. Monty says that's a good hangover cure, is the tomato juice in the beer.
So maybe they're being preventative.
Yeah. Hunter wants to know, Lance, the Bud Light girls running around at Walk-Ons.
Right
now they're eating lunch.
We got 3. Yeah, they're just eating.
What kind of deals do we have, though?
So, Brown, now that you ask, I've got salt all over my phone. What a dumbass move by me.
Big dad move right here.
What are you going to do? Oh, you're going to move it so little Lance doesn't spill his beer?
I'm not going to spill my beer.
He's a pro, Jim. He's a pro.
So this is the 22-ounce Bud Light, which you can get for $6.50. Pints only $4.25. Bottles are $4. We're hanging out Stadium Trace, Walk-Ons. Great food. I'm going to get that tuna bowl when we get off the air before I get on the road.
Speaking of which, Chad says, judge by the size of LT's mug, who is driving to Gulf Shores, not LT.
Oh, that would be Maddie.
The old girlfriend.
Dropping off Bullet and Chili right now to my man, Rab Stewart. And I was hoping Little T was going to go because we were going to have some fun on the way down, but she tapped out.
Little T's busy. She was just explaining why she's not going.
But here's my thing.
I'm overwhelmed at all we have to do between now and Christmas.
Be busy on the road as much as you're busy here.
You can.
But see, then you become distracted because people want you to talk to them, drink with them, dance with them, eat with them.
Yeah, she's going to enjoy the silence of us not being there.
Yeah, she would have to worry about that. Hey, Little T, I know you got a meme to throw out, but I wanted you to dance with me this one song.
A meme?
You could have ridden down with me. I wouldn't have talked to you at all.
Yeah.
We could have been silence all the way
That
down.
is not
No,
true.
you know it's not true. Jimmy's socially awkward. He talks more when he gets in socially awkward situations. It's the
So,
weirdest
Taylor,
thing.
tell me about sophomore year in high school.
Yeah.
When you first fell in love with soccer.
First time you kissed a boy.
No, we're not gonna bring Jason into this.
Oh,
Whoa. Yeah.
I was just taking a wild guess to see if that was it.
Good Southern name.
Yeah.
Bubba. We're not going to bring Bubba in this. You brought up talking about something. What were you going to talk about?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
You wanted to talk a little bit about the NFL. You wanted to talk about tonight's game.
not
Lance's
really.
like,
Well, Lance'sLight.com, you're going to have a play up tonight.
Yeah,
You play the game at
I've got
MyBookie.ag.
the side.
The side?
Yeah, I'll be honest
Awful
with you,
game.
man. I mean, this is not a way to sell this. This game's awful, and it's a standalone game. So I looked at every angle on this game. Coming off 5-2.
Hey, awful games bet good, don't they?
They do, as long as you get the right side.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But 5-2 last night.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
5-2 last night. So we actually have a total in the NBA.
Okay.
We've got the semifinals playing for their right to play for the in-season tournament, which I don't know if anybody's excited about this. So we've got a total in the NBA. We've got a side in college basketball, and we have a side in the NFL game tonight. So 3 plays up. I feel a 2-1. The only thing that sucks for you is if you play this, you're gonna have to watch the game.
I've got 2 plays up tonight. I won't tell you the basketball one, but is it
a parlay?
It is a parlay. I think it was every game, at least when I was on this morning at 7:00, it was every game available at MyBookie.ag. I just picked it. I just went down and picked which one I liked. I think there was only like 7 games on there this morning when I was there.
Yeah.
So I just picked all 7 of them. So I have a winner.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
So we'll see if I hit that. But I have my NFL is not side or total. It's first player score. It's the first time I've ever done this. I venture away from either the total or the game. So I'm on first player to score tonight.
Najee Harris?
I almost went Najee Harris, but I didn't.
Who'd you go with?
I'll tell you what I would play, and I haven't seen the player prop yet.
Yeah, I can pull up player props if they're up.
Okay, and I am going to guess the number is 42.5. I would play Jaylen Warren's rush yards over.
Wow. First player to score tonight, I went for a plus 2,000. Hunter Henry.
So Steelers are a 5.5 point favorite. The total is 30 at MyBookie.ag code NextRound. Jaylen Warren is plus 475 to be the first player to score. You want who?
I was going to Hunter Henry.
He's plus 20,000 right here. I'm sorry, 2,000. 2,000. Excuse me. Plus 2,000.
So 20-1. Jaylen Warren, 42.5 rushing yards. I haven't looked at.
You're going to give me a second to get the player props.
Najee Harris is questionable for tonight's game, by the way.
Jaylen Warren. Now, what did you want?
Rushing yards.
Rushing yards. Jaylen Warren is going to be 51.5.
Oh yeah, I really.
So you like the over? Over 51.5.
He's a home run hitter, man. Averaging almost 6 yards carry.
Your quarterback props here. These will be ugly. Mitchell Trubisky, total passing yards.
That would be, I would put it at 196.5.
I'm going to say it's 209.5.
Even worse, 181.5.
Wow.
Bailey Zappi. You can't go low enough on this guess.
172.5.
You can't go low enough on this guess, Dunaway.
161.
Dunaway.
Lower than 161?
Yes.
$1 to win.
195.5.
Wait.
I mean, I'm sorry, 159.5.
Oh, wow.
159.5. I mean, do you know how bad a performance it takes in the NFL to throw for 159 yards?
I just need the Steelers to fumble the opening kickoff and then him to throw a two-yard touchdown pass to Hunter Henry. Then I'll check out of the game.
Somebody got smoked at a intersection on a motorcycle, and they skidded more than 159 yards today.
Zappi's touchdown passes are at a half, over under a half.
That
God,
guy
that's
you
such
showed
a
me
bad-
got hit by lightning the other day. His shoes went further than 159 yards.
I mean, don't you think Nicholas asked about the over under, the total tonight is 30.
The lowest total since 1993.
That's the lowest NFL total?
Yeah.
30.
I never saw which game that was in 1993.
You know, based on my remembrance, I would say that Rich Kotite's Eagles were involved.
Wow.
Great defense.
Didn't
and
Randall Cunningham
awful,
play quarterback for them? though?
Awful. He was done by then.
By the time Kotite coached?
I almost think it was Jim McMahon on his
Farewell tour.
yeah.
On his Fat Elvis tour.
Yeah. His second wind.
So Randall Cunningham only played for Buddy Ryan then?
Yeah.
Because didn't Kotite replace Buddy Ryan?
Mm-hmm.
Did he also coach the Jets, Rich Kotite?
He did.
So he had Eagles
His
and
former
Jets.
boxer.
John wants to know what Al Michaels will think about tonight. He'll hate it. He's hated this whole schedule. He hates this job. He hates working with Kirk Herbstreit. I don't know why he does it.
I mean, look, we try to be an open book to you guys. We try to be authentic on everything. So I think a lot of times we probably complain more than we should.
Oh,
We're
we
just
do.
trying to be
Yeah.
real
Not
with
me.
you. But I hope if I ever get to that point where
Little T, just that laugh.
where we're making really good money to talk about sports and we hate doing it, that's a bad okay, so I went to that tech event last night.
Right.
And
Star Tech.
we met these three people on the end of the bar and we were all talking. He was like, "What is today?" Because I was like, they were trying to get me some bourbon. I was like, I just don't drink bourbon during the week. I know that's hard for a lot of people to believe. I was like, I drink my bourbon on the weekends, beer, wine during the week. That's it.
But it's Tech in the city. You've got to have some bourbon.
Well, the guy was like, what day is it? He was like, man, he was like, I really don't even know what day it is. He's like, I used to work a job where I knew exactly what day it was, and I absolutely hated it. And there is nothing worse than that. But Al Michaels to travel around to different cities, to have car service to all the games, and to get paid millions of dollars, and him to act like he doesn't want to be there,
I know.
which he is.
I know. It is sad. It's the end of an amazing career, and it's sad that he's ending it that way. Like, he is completely disinterested in these games.
And he's a
Now,
dick-
I
he's
am
a
too.
dick to Herbstreit.
He is. He doesn't like Herbstreit. And I'll tell you what frustrates me the most about Al Michaels, who is an absolute first ballot Hall of Famer. Legend.
Oh, yeah.
He
Love
is.
his work.
But his final day on the job, the headline will be, "Do you believe in miracles? ... Not anymore."
Oh, wow. It's going to be a bad headline.
Yep.
The thing that bugs me the most about him is the disdain in his voice when Herbstreit brings up like where game day is or whatever. I mean, he's like so condescending about, "Oh, you're going to Ames, Iowa." I mean, I'm like, dude, that's what you started out in this business doing. You were doing college football games. I mean, just the disdain, like he's bigger than going to Ames, Iowa, or he's bigger than going to Austin, Texas, because he's in some NFL city. That's so condescending.
There seems to be a Wikipedia page for everything. I'm going to see if there's Al Michaels, who's 79, college.
He went to
games
Arizona State, right?
He broadcast. No, the ones he broadcast.
Oh, like in 1979? I remember him doing an Iron Bowl. I think he did Wrong Way Bo, Dunaway. Do you remember that? I think Al Michaels did Wrong Way Bo.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I do not think so.
I think he did, man. I'm just going to tell you.
Okay.
Troy says he thinks Michaels and Herbstreit are great. I don't.
I think Michaels was one of the best ever.
Oh, he was one of the best. No, I
Yeah.
think they're great at what they do. I don't think they're great together.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Fowler and Herbstreit are great.
I've said this before, and this might not be an original thought by me. I might have seen it on Twitter. It's one of those I can't really remember. But I've said before, I think Herbstreit does college football with his heart, and he does the NFL with his head. Like, I feel like Kirk Herbstreit loves college football as much as I do. I feel like he's doing the NFL because he knows football. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when I watched I firmly believe, like Troy Aikman. I don't know if you like him or not. On
I do. Yeah.
I think he loves the NFL. Like, I think Chris Collinsworth, whether you like him or not, loves the NFL.
True or false? Troy Aikman, a Heisman finalist.
True.
Dunaway?
Troy Aikman, Heisman finalist?
Yep.
I think he was. I think he ended up finishing third in the ballot.
Third in 1988.
He finished third?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, lucky guess by me.
So-
Oklahoma transfer back before the portal was the portal.
Yeah. Did he have to sit? I guess he sat out a year.
I think he
and
did,
transferred. But it was a good transfer for him. I mean, ultimately, the reason he transferred is Switzer was going to run the wishbone, right?
Yeah. Last 40 years, most random Heisman finalist.
40 years?
The reason I bring it up is I brought this institution up earlier today.
Was
It's a big hint.
You brought this institution up earlier today. Most random Heisman. This is obviously subjective.
No,
Okay.
it's not subjective.
So everybody gets to agree with you.
No.
Well, who ruled at this?
Oh, well, I mean, okay, you're right. It is subjective,
okay.
but I think it's the most random.
Well, I mean, I could agree with
Once
you. I don't
you
know.
hear it, I don't think anybody would disagree.
Wasn't there a Heisman finalist that was a quarterback at Iowa State? Who was not Seneca Wallace, but there was another one. Who was that other one?
No, there was. I think Troy Davis.
Troy Davis. Was that a running back?
Yeah,
but he was not a Heisman finalist.
He was. Yeah.
Was he? That's
Yeah.
the one I would go. Troy Davis, Iowa State. I mean, think back.
I'm going to tell you. I'll give you a
Hey.
hint. It was cover of Sports Illustrated. Does this help?
Yeah. Stay with me.
You know what's kind of crazy? Think back to our childhood and a quarterback who played at Holy Cross. Where did Doug Flutie play?
Boston College.
Yeah, played against Holy Cross. So that's what I was going to say. So Doug Flutie was at Boston College, and I'll never forget. It was during the Iron Bowl. They were playing Holy Cross, and they were at Holy Cross, which looked like a high school stadium.
Holy Cross is the answer, by the way. It is
It is.
John Capoletti or somebody like
No,
that.
that was Penn State. He actually won it. It was Gordy Lockbaum.
Yeah.
From I think it was 1986 or 87. He came in third in the Heisman. I mean, is that not the most random?
That is random. I just remember after the Hail Mary, there was an Iron Bowl, I think it was. And is that who you said right there? Don? Goody's Lockbaum or whatever his name is?
It's close.
Yeah,
Eric Bieniemy. Samuel's right. He was a Heisman
From,
finalist. You look
from
at him
Colorado?
now, he got dig-dugged.
Oh, yeah. Eric Bieniemy
He's
has
3 times
blown
what he
up.
was.
But, I mean, keep in mind now, Colorado was the number 2 team in the nation, so that's not that random.
That was my favorite part of football. You loved the ticker. That we didn't have the ticker when I was a kid at first. Early when I was a kid, they didn't even have the scores during the game. It was always you'd wait afterwards, the Prudential College scoreboard, and they would always hit Lehigh and Holy Cross, and
Slippery Rock.
Yeah, all those games in there too. It was just cool seeing the matchups and stuff.
Yeah.
But then before the ticker, they would they'd bring the scores up in between plays, and it was fun to keep up with. It was like a big game because only one game was on. They would update it more often. Oh, and Penn State now is taking the lead on Notre Dame 14-10. And it was fun that way.
Yeah, Dunaway, I remember, I think I've told this on the show before, but I remember one time watching a Bama game Keith Jackson was doing. It might have been an Iron Bowl. In fact, it was an Iron Bowl. And Jack State was in the Division II playoffs, and they put the score up, and Keith Jackson said, boy, Bill Burgess has got a good team this year at Jacksonville State. And I could not believe that the great Keith Jackson knew who the coach was at Jack State.
Right.
I was like, my gosh, Keith Jackson knows everything about college football. He knows little old Jack State's coach.
He's a Jedi.
I mean, Bill Burgess. Don says that's who he was talking about. Goody's Lockbaum.
Yeah, I knew he was.
Close enough. No, but what I was going to say about I remember there was an Iron Bowl after the Hail Mary completion by Flutie when he won the Heisman. His last game was at Holy Cross, and they had a reporter live at the game. And at halftime, we're checking on Doug Flutie, and he reports from the game, and it's like a high school stadium. Like, how is the Heisman going to be won by a guy playing in this stadium right here? I mean, he's freaking playing at Holy Cross, and it looked like a 3A high school stadium.
Right.
It's just a weird world we lived in back then. That Boston College,
You know, and
we go play at Holy
I
Cross.
remember the play. I remember seeing the highlight. I wasn't watching the game live.
I was
but-
watching live the Miami Hail Mary.
Yeah, against Boston College, or excuse me, against Miami. Yeah, if he doesn't complete that pass, does he win the Heisman?
Nope. Because he beat Testaverde, right? Or was it Kozar?
I
Who
think
was
it
the Miami
Kozar.
core? Was it Kozar?
Yeah, what year was that? 84.
84.
Yeah, because Testaverde he won it in 87.
Yeah, Kozar was going to be the winner, because they were the two main finalists there. And I think Flutie won it on that play because I can remember the Heisman ceremony. I think even the guy said, let's take another look at the play that basically won Doug this trophy. Bernie, you may want to turn your head, because Kozar was sitting right there next to him. I remember it because my brother had a bunch of guys from the neighborhood over playing basketball, and I was outside. And as we walked in, my dad was sitting there watching the game. He said, y'all may want to come here. Boston College could upset Miami. We're like, all right, let's watch it. And then the Hail Mary hits, and the whole den just goes insane.
Was Randy eating a tomato sandwich?
I don't know what Randy was eating, but he was sitting in a recliner. I could probably see that. We're
Let's
outside.
let's go to our fact checker over there. Was Bernie Kosar the quarterback?
Keith Byers, the running back.
Running back for Ohio State.
Yeah.
Quarterback BYU.
Was Kosar not even there?
Nope.
Yeah, Robbie Bosco was a finalist, but back-to-back years never won it, though.
Well, I swear I remember Kosar being there.
All I remember about the Flutie Boston College teams were they beat Alabama back-to-back years. Once in Boston in a ice storm, and once here when Alabama was.
Kerry Goo blew it at his knee,
Yeah.
didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so random
Was
question.
Alabama highly ranked then?
Yeah, and dominated the first half.
Yeah.
Random question. This week, my jaw is starting to pop all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we have any.
I think you're going to die.
I'm not worried about that.
Oh.
I'm just wondering how you fix it. What do you do about it? How
All
does
right.
that happen?
So if your jaw is popping, how do you fix
I
it?
have
If
not
you
been
want to,
punched. Nothing like that. So I have no idea what's going on.
Okay.
While we're asking questions here, I've got this right here.
Swap shot.
When I
I got a
when
donkey I need to
so I'm
solve.
looking at LT, and if I go all the way to Taylor, I'm getting a pop, 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 pop
In
my
your neck?
Yep.
Like a sprinkler system?
Yeah, it's like that's exactly what it is, and I can feel it. It's almost like my neck is out of sync, like a bicycle, and the chain is not hitting the spindle thing exactly right.
I've already told you to go get an inversion table. I think that would help you.
Yeah.
When your back was hurting you.
I think, a hot tub. I never wanted one.
Wait. That's just what I was going to get into coming back. It's a bathtub, but I was going to create a hot tub out of it. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's different if you've got chlorine kicking up and jets and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it
Like,
is.
Yeah, I mean,
Instead of me just doing this in the bathtub.
no, but I think the quote, you were there, I wasn't, was, boy, I just need a hot bath and a glass of red wine.
Yeah, it was me and EG coming back from the Iron Bowl, and
I think it was the bubbles and the candles that put it over the top.
And EG was like, Dunaway, I'm a girl, and I haven't had a bath in probably a decade.
She's a filthy.
Did she pick on you yet?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
She's
from
learned
day one.
Dunaway.
And I actually told her that in Atlanta. I was like,
The disrupt pinata.
yeah, I am. I bring it on though, but I told her that in Atlanta because I said you were sort of come off early on as this delicate flower that I was afraid to talk to, and I didn't want to break. And it was nice to know you had a little edge to you. When she started talking crap back to me, I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna work. We got basically another Taylor.
Yeah.
I like that.
I don't
think
think
Taylor from day
She
one.
doesn't talk shit. I think she just rolls her eyes.
Oh
She does now.
no, she does to me. She puts me on my
Really?
place all the time.
You know, I can in my right now I can hear Taylor in my head saying, Dunaway.
Dunaway.
Yeah, all the time.
Stop saying that. Dunaway. Go
And
back in the studio.
I don't want to tell you this, but I think that was Taylor's turning point, or excuse me, EG's turning point. One day when you walked out of the lobby and Taylor was like, you just got to give crap back to him and he'll shut up.
Yep. That
I could
surprised
be
me.
putting words in Little T's mouth there, but I think it was something like that.
Yep.
Do you want Little T to be one of your pallbearers with your ashes?
Well, the fact I'm going to be, what's it called? When
Cremated.
That's what I'm
Cremated.
saying.
Yeah, that's why you
Yeah.
got ashes.
So I don't need a lot of muscle on the front or back end of my casket. So EG and Taylor both could handle the urn.
And if we spill it, they can vacuum it up.
That's
Being the ladies of the group, right?
So anybody from our staff to carry your ashes, you pick Taylor and EG?
No, I'm going to need. The media coverage is going to be through the roof. So I'm gonna need
we're in
Taylor
crowd control.
documenting it for our
Yeah,
platform.
Taylor loves the content.
Yeah.
No, hey,
She's just
Hey,
like, Dunaway, can you die Monday through Friday?
No, what the day Dunaway dies, we'll have our first presidential assassination since JFK.
It'll be lost. It'll be lost.
Yeah.
in
Lost
the
in the
roof.
news.
Period.
Yeah.
Y'all hear Dunaway died? Holy shit, the
When?
president just got killed.
They were bombing Miami.
When did Dunaway die? Well, the same day the president so-and-so got shot. Oh, that makes
Yeah.
sense. That long ago, huh?
Yeah.
He told me once, Dunaway told me one time, he's like, Brownie, this is years ago. He goes, Brownie, I'm going to play a song for you. I want to play it at my funeral. was like, all right, that's kind of weird.
I
But
hope you wrote it down because I forgot.
well, Dunaway, it was Amazing Grace. And I'm like, Jim, that's probably 78% of the funerals of the Deep South. And if you add Go Rest High on That Mountain, you're at 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know if that's not like that crazy a song to play at a funeral. It's Amazing Grace.
I'm out on both of those now, but I probably change. I mean, basically, it's going to be a music festival if we go with every song I want sung at my funeral.
A music festival?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dunaway would absolutely hate that if he was at a funeral. Like, how much longer?
Yes.
Oh, I know.
Well, I've told
So
Maggie
you're going to do
many
that to other
times.
people.
I've told Maggie many times in our traditional service at Asbury, we have one song that's out of place. Like it's like we sing.
Is it Hoop There It Is?
No, I'm just saying there's a song when the light and the cross comes down and the pastors walk in. A song that is sung different one every week.
Right.
Then there's some announcements and stuff and a prayer. And then there's a song that is sung. Then there's a song that is sung during when you give money.
The offering?
Offering.
Yeah. That's the offertory,
Right.
is what you're
And
calling
then-
it.
Is it Pink Floyd's Money?
Yeah. And then we have another song. We don't need a fourth song in the traditional.
Oh, wow.
We need to go straight from the offering right into the sermon.
Look at
Because we have a little in the Methodist Church. We sang a little sort of post.
that's the doxology.
I went to you guys' church.
Yep, Shays Mountain
Pastor
Baptist.
George,
right?
big fan.
George W.
Great
Wright.
service, but I know how to do it now.
How?
I get there 20 minutes late. I miss the music.
Yep.
I leave 10 minutes early.
Yep. Lance is not a big fan of the music.
I'm just a pastor guy.
Yeah.
I like the sermon.
Well, and as I told you, I mean, if that's all you ever get, man, I'm happy you did.
I went to see Pastor Maggie
Yeah.
do her sermon.
Yep.
Little too much music for me.
Well, that's
you
what
you were
Dunaway's
in
saying.
contemporary.
Yeah.
Now we lay the music on there. We go 3 full songs before we even sit down.
No, I thought it was Battle of the Bands. I thought I was in the wrong joint.
You know we're about to have to vote because every week we've got the band that's up there, and then we've got 3 different singers, and they each sing one where they're the lead singer.
Yeah.
And it's like when we come back, one of these people are going home.
Yeah, they're all sitting there.
I was looking for the beer vendor.
And we're standing the whole time.
Yeah.
And by the 3rd song, I'm sitting there thinking, man, I'd like to sit down and listen to some of this music at some point.
Samuel says Lance seems like the kind of guy that would sell a spot on a tombstone to an advertiser.
Well,
100%.
that seems like a big shot from Samuel, but that's okay.
No, I think it's
When I am dead and gone, as long as my kids are taken care of, I really don't care.
Yep.
And if that little sliver of my tombstone, which I'll never have a tombstone,
I won't either.
if for whatever reason, yeah, you can sell my ashes.
Let's see. Michael said, I called it this morning. Ja'Cory Brooks hit the portal, and I just did get that confirmed from On3 Sports. That is a weird deal with him, man.
He's at Oregon?
Ja'Cory Brooks is at Alabama.
Alabama. I
Yeah.
thought he'd already left.
No. You're thinking of
that's
Trishawn Holden.
Yeah.
He scored an incredible touchdown Friday night
Yeah.
to get the over in the second half and for the game.
Ja'Cory Brooks scored an incredible touchdown a couple of years ago at Auburn and has disappeared after that.
I know you love 17. Isaiah Bond's playing well, right?
Isaiah Bond is
Yeah.
Alabama's best receiver.
Burton has played really well.
He has.
all year.
Hats off.
I just don't understand. And I think Bond has gotten better and Burton's gotten better. But for Alabama not to have a dominant receiver is just weird because you can't say it about Ohio State has one every year. And Alabama was on that
Yep.
run and it just hadn't happened.
I know. It is weird. It's been a couple of years. Jamison Williams and John Mechie were the last two.
Yeah.
And
I
since then,
wouldn't
they
think
have-
Mechie was one of those guys.
He was, and he was better with Jamison Williams then because Williams took the top off of defense.
Yeah, if Mechie had the speed of Williams,
Yeah.
Mechie was always open.
Yeah, always open in great hands. I mean, he wasn't going to drop anything.
I would tell you, Alabama fans are in a comfortable place, but we've got 15 practices. We got 15 practices and, final exams and all that. You just hope you make it to Pasadena with all your starters there, You just want to
You're talking about because of like grades and portal.
injuries in practice, grades, anything that can keep you from being whole. Because right now, you mentioned Burton and Bond and how good that offensive line is playing.
Can I
the
ask you,
running
though,
backs.
the last time you heard somebody academically they did not get eligible
Yeah.
for the college football playoff? I don't know if I've ever heard that.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Um,
I don't know how bad it'd have to get.
I mean, can you imagine coming to Saban, hey, Jalen Milroe didn't make his grades. do you want a job at this university?
Yeah, that's right. He didn't,
Do they want to find your body?
Yeah. Do you want to go see who makes the grades at Western Illinois, or do you want to keep seeing who makes the grades here in Tuscaloosa?
But injury is a legitimate thing.
It seems like in 2009 and 2010, I know that's a different era of football. It seems like both Alabama and Auburn had some
I think you're right
academic
about that.
issues.
I think you're right.
Before we got to the big game.
Which I don't understand. I mean, look, I didn't try hard in college. If you literally show up in college and give half an effort, you can at least stay eligible.
Well,
Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
I mean,
honestly, if you go to class, you make C's.
If you're a chemical engineering major, that's going to be a different story.
I am a prime example. If
I am too.
Go to class.
Yeah. Now, I didn't get a degree, but that wasn't really because I didn't make the grades, just because I didn't. But I didn't try. I mean, I showed up, I tried to have a good attitude, and asked the teacher, asked the professor for help on stuff, and you're going to get a C for that.
Like, I was completely out of the mix. I don't know about you guys. When you were academically, wherever you were, I was never engaged. Like, I was talking to Jack the other day. I said, what are y'all doing in history right now? He's like, we're doing the colonial times in America. Went through the whole thing, and I was like, what are you doing in science? We're doing physical science right now.
Could never have done that,
kind of, and I'm like, I wouldn't have been able to answer my old man never would have asked.
Right.
But I wouldn't have been able to answer him.
It just seems to me like even if I fail every class in the fall, this is still the fall season. Like I shouldn't be punished for the academic.
I would agree with
this season.
Yeah.
It should be my next season.
That's right. Or if I play spring sport, I am now ineligible for that.
Right.
Like if I play baseball or whatever in a spring sport.
Because there could be a technicality. You might have missed on my grade. I'm going to have to. We're going to actually challenge this.
Yeah, like Bob says, a lot of classes are online now, so a lot of advisors and help. I mean, if you can't pass an online class,
I was blown away when Milrose said he was taking that. What was the business 400?
I
forgot. I was never in the
GM 400
school.
or something, or I don't know.
I know somebody who's just this week their son missed one of their final exams. They just put the date in their calendar wrong. And thought it was Thursday, and thought it was Wednesday, and it was Tuesday.
So what happened?
And the professor would not let him make
It was
up.
like you on the Eddie Robinson Award, right?
Yeah, like forget to do it.
Was it too late?
And they would not let the student make it up.
Blake said it was GB 490. I think that's right.
Well, anyway, I'm just surprised.
No, I am too.
I'll say, but okay, so we got a quarterback. He ain't taking GB 490.
I guess Milrose's a pretty smart kid, though.
No, I mean, I'm not doubting that,
Yeah.
but I don't want that on his plate. I don't want him worrying about anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd go to the kid, hey, do you want to do this? Yeah, I can handle both. It's not a problem. Or, it's going to be kind of a battle. Well, guess what? You're not doing it.
I just think in the world of online classes, how you can't at least make C's. An online class, if you can't make a B out of that,
Dude, I would
you're
have
just a dummy.
slayed on late.
Oh, what do you have?
I would have had the computer here and I'd have had Google here.
Yeah.
And it'd been nonstop.
I mean, it just seems like an online class is a complete gimme. Like if I had a guy that I thought was dumb as a coach, but he could play, he's in all online classes. And I'm going to have an academic advisor that's right there with him for, all right, here, put that there, put that there. The answer there is yes. The answer there is no. Let's go.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
That's the way I'm going to roll if I got a really good player. Now, if he's a borderline player, I may not devote that much to him.
having a
Well, that's
student
sad.
in the house
Yeah.
right now. My wife.
Is your son online a lot?
No, my wife at Duke.
Oh,
So I'm watching her sometimes, and some of her final exams are Zooms where people can see what you're doing. But most of theirs is papers or presentations.
Caleb says
It's not
Lance.
like an answer question.
Yeah, they have online proctors for exams and lockdown browsers. I bet they do have online proctors, but I bet I know who hires the online proctors for the good athletes. Wouldn't you think? Like,
so what are they saying? Like the lockdown browser?
I would imagine lockdown browser is timed. Like you got a certain amount of time to do this.
No, I think it prevents you from leaving that page
well,
and
maybe
going
that's it.
anywhere else on the
but
internet.
Here's what I do is like big tablet, the font's big. This is so easy.
Oh, Troy's saying they have complete control of your computer. You have to hand over control of your computer.
Well,
but
that's-
to your point, you're on your phone.
That's
Okay.
fine. But if I'm sitting there and even if they're watching or whatever, I'm like, I read out loud. I've got to read what the question is. Blah, 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 blah. And the dude behind it is Googling it. And then he's putting up the tablet. I'm like, oh, what is it? Oh, it's Napoleon.
Bob says test or videotape. I love how easy we're making this sound, and everybody's like, guys, they go to every length to keep you from cheating.
Videotape from what angle? How many camera angles? We
Well,
only
I
have
don't
so
know.
many camera angles in the Mac right now.
I don't know these answers. Yeah. I bet there's better replay on these tests.
Hey,
than there is
send
in
me
the Mac
back
game.
to school. I guarantee you I can graduate with a 3.5.
That's a bold claim.
Bracket challenge?
Bold
Bracket
claim.
challenge?
I'm willing to go back for a year. I'm willing to do this.
Boy,
No, you're not. No, you're not.
What fraternity are you going to play?
No, you're not.
I'd probably go back Theta Chi.
Theta Chi?
The house has gotten big, though.
You're going to go back to Bama, or you're just going to go anywhere? Could you
No.
get back in Bama right now?
Wait a second. We're about to get the tweet. Lance Taylor has entered the
portal.
portal.
No, I was thinking about this the other day when it was Dylan Gabriel. I was like, this kid, like I always thought back in school, I would like to do 2 years on one campus, 2 years on another, and then a final 2 years. Dylan Gabriel, Central Florida to Oklahoma to now probably Oregon.
That's your dream.
Seeing all over the country, Southeast, Midwest, Pacific Northwest. Man, what a life.
That is a life. You're right about that. This is Bud Light Game Night, by the way, even though we are doing it from the middle of the day here. But it is Bud Light Game Night. You can go back and watch it tonight if that makes you feel better. They got Bud Light specials here. Lance is drinking one of those 22 ounces, $6 for that.
Yeah. Anybody comment on the jaw?
I have not gotten that yet. No, nothing on the jaw.
This thing out.
Anything on my neck?
Nothing on the neck. No medical comments.
By the way, it's $6.50 for the 22.
$6.50. What a deal.
Pints are $4.25 and bottles are $4 from our friends at Bud Light. Come join us up here. Stadium Trace, beautiful location of Walk-Ons. We've got football tonight. Bud Light Game Night. We're doing it during the day, but we have the Steelers and Patriots. If you don't like offense, you're going to love this game.
By the way, Samuel says be very careful with the jaw. Some muscles connect and link to the back. So you don't want it going from your jaw to your back. So be careful with that.
You know what? It could be the back already. We were talking about this. I got an
That's
L4, L5 problem.
So it's coming the other way.
My hip feels like one of those action figures where you rip the leg off,
Yeah.
then try to put it back
Got
in.
that little rubber band connected to the metal thing.
The hip's killing me right now. My right ankle hurts. My forearm, my left wrist, and my jaw.
What is good on you right now?
He's anatomically correct.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still breathing and I'm
Yeah.
upright. I worked out hard this morning,
Right.
and I'm just getting too fucking old.
Yeah, I know. Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
You know, you don't until you have your neck popping. You don't realize how many times you turn your head in a day, though. And now it's, and I guess you can't hear it, but it feels like I'm popping bubble wrap in my neck every time I turn.
I never understood this, but
And do I only have so many turns left in my life? Should I stop doing this?
Yeah, probably should,
You really
yeah.
do. So I never really realized this, but my ex-wife's grandmother, Gingama, Leighton named her, Ruth, great woman, Ruth Watkins, passed away a few years ago. But every time I would see her, she would tell me, this was when I was in my 20s, enjoy your youth. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And there is something to that. Like, there's something awesome about getting old and wiser and being able to enjoy life and embrace and in the moment and that kind of stuff. But there is also something awesome about just being 100% healthy.
Yeah.
And having no pain. And I guess you live long enough, it doesn't happen.
Boy, back to your Benjamin Button thing. It just dawned on me because if you started at the end, you worked forward, you knew when you died then, right?
Not necessarily, because your brain goes to mush when you turn like.
That's right.
What do you remember when you were 3 years old?
Yeah.
Very little.
Once you get close to zero, you don't remember anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
so that may be the best way to do
fortunate
it.
enough to live into our 80s, you're going to be like, today could be the day.
That's right.
And so if you're when it backwards, when you're 4 or 5, you can be like, today could be the
that's
day.
usually what the pastor brings up after that song while you're leaving after the sermon. He brings up, today could be the day for any of us. Let's make sure we're right with the Lord.
Yeah.
You're missing that part while you're out in the parking lot beating the traffic.
George does that before the music. He gets that part. Lance gets that part.
Yeah. George is outside of Maggie because she's family. He's my favorite pastor.
George Wright's your favorite pastor?
No, it's okay. Maggie's
GW3.
Maggie's come to terms with your attendance is your vote, and she knows she's.
Well,
not
I mean,
too.
I see George more than I see Maggie. I mean,
Yep.
I think he comes up to the studio more.
Ironically, I see George more than I see Maggie.
I think he might have hung an ornament on the tree, which was more than Maggie did, right?
Wow.
She's not watching.
She hears about it, though.
Maggie Dunaway, pastor at Asbury Methodist. Almost made you Baptist. Sorry, Jimmy. Asbury Methodist, which is 119 off 280. George Wright, pastor of Shades Mountain Baptist Church of Vestavia. That's my church, Dunaway's church. Of course, is where Maggie is the pastor.
And I love, she doesn't know anything about sports, but she's adopted Duke. And so she comes back one day and she's like,
"Who's this Manny Diaz fucker?"
No, she's like, I have to hit her with that later. I hear my football team's going to a bowl game here in Birmingham, and I'm like, yep.
Are y'all going to go?
And that's when I had to point out to her, and I said, "Yep." And your quarterback is visiting Notre Dame today.
That's right.
What do you mean? And I said, "Remember that good guy you were watching when they played Clemson, Riley Leonard? Yeah, he was good from Alabama, right?" I said, "Yep." He's visiting Notre Dame. There's a good chance he's not going to be your quarterback.
Well, I heard
he is not going to be your quarterback. Whether or not Notre Dame, they cough up enough money.
I heard a rumor.
That doesn't seem fair.
I heard a rumor of what he was asking for in the portal, and it's insane.
Yep.
Well,
what do you think he's worth? Like, if you were Hugh Freeze or Marcus Freeman, what would you be willing to pay for Riley Leonard?
I think based on his health this year, I would give him $1 million.
I'd give him 1.5.
It was north of both those. That's the rumor now. I can't verify that. I'm just telling you. That's the type of money these guys are asking for now.
If I was Auburn, I would give him 1.5.
So I saw this in the chat today. I mean, 1.5, I could do it, especially if you believe he's going to stay healthy.
Yeah.
None of us know that. In the chat, somebody said Carson Beck is asking for $4 million to come back.
I mean, I saw that. I sometimes wonder how inflated these numbers get.
And I don't know what you do if that's true.
If you're Georgia.
Yeah, because with Carson Beck, you're going to be in the mix to win a national championship. Without him, I don't know what you have.
Would you be surprised if Bryce Young went after his Heisman year, went in and said, "I need this much money to stay in Alabama"?
Not at all. I wouldn't
go to another school.
I wouldn't be surprised if Milroe's doing that right now.
To USC?
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about the NIL. Like, I don't mind you get as much as you're worth. I don't like you playing another school against a school that already got you to the point you are.
Where you've made your name.
I think there's a little loyalty when you start bleeding out and asking for more money. Like, if you agree to a 2-year deal and you got $1 million, you can ask for a little bit of a bump. But if you hold the school hostage and I need to go to 1.5 or I'm leaving you, that's bullshit.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that says a lot about you as a player in the future. I really do.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah. I don't know ways around it. I really don't. I don't know how you police this because, in the NFL, you don't really have the option to do that until you get to free agency. There's a set period of time where you can do that. But I can't go after my rookie year to the Patriots and say, "Hey, this sucks right now. I'm going to the Dolphins if you don't give me $10 million. You know what the Patriots say? I want to look at that contract."
Yeah, but QB1 will say at Alabama, if you're making this and you got to come back for another year, they're going to probably give you a nice gradual bump anyway. And if you try to hold them hostage, I could see them saying, "Listen, don't you also want more offensive linemen, great receivers? That's only going to help
but
your
you
draft
see that
back."
all the time in the NFL. The quarterback always wants to be the highest paid guy, and everybody's like, "Yeah, but you're not going to be able to afford receivers."
Well, sometimes you see them take a pay cut,
Sometimes.
restructure it.
Yeah, Tom Brady did that.
Out. You know what we're never going to get, and I've said this before. Roman Harper, who was on with us today on the next round, is a diehard Alabama fan. There was loyalty from day one. Bob Baumhauer, every time I talk about him, he brings up Alabama. Terry Henley brings up Auburn. I don't like Desmond Howard. He brings up Michigan. We are going to lose that.
Well, I think we already have, right? With
to a certain
just
extent.
National recruiting, I think we've lost a lot of
to a certain extent. I mean, you still hear a lot of those. I see those photos and videos of Bama boys in the NFL and things like that. But on the NIL deal, here's what I would say about a guy like Milroe. He was getting NIL on being maybe the starting quarterback. And next year, he is going to be the Heisman favorite.
Oh, yeah, he deserves.
That in itself probably deserves a little bit of a bump, right? Going from where he was, Middle Tennessee, to being the Heisman favorite.
Wait,
do you think he'll be the Heisman favorite?
Him or Carson Beck?
Yeah,
I would say probably Jalen just because of the sizzle. And especially what we're going to see. I mean, it depends
if he plays well in the playoffs. Yeah.
But
they'll be 1 and 2 probably, and they play each other September 28th, and they'll build that up early.
Jalen strikes me as a guy that will sit back, not demand. I don't know him outside of what we do and what we've heard. But he strikes me as a guy that will sit back and wait. And I think they probably give him a bump based on where he is. But what you hope is there's not somebody else pulling the strings, whether it's a family member or an agent. Say, "Hey, look, if they don't give you this, you need to go somewhere else."
His family seems very grounded.
Yeah, they do.
I didn't bring it up on the show, but I had it written down today. Dan Wetzel, who's on the show often, wrote a story from Tom Brady's perspective, how Tom Brady in the open portal world may have not have turned into Tom Brady. In 1997, maybe 98, He went to Lloyd Carr and said, I want you to get, back then you had to get a release from your team so you could transfer to another school. I want you to give me my release, and I want to leave Michigan. And Lloyd Carr says, it'll be the biggest mistake of your life. Sleep on it and come back tomorrow. If you still want it, I'll give it to you. But go sleep on it. It'll be the biggest mistake of your life if you don't stay here and fight for this job. Tom Brady went home, came back the next day to Lloyd Carr and said, you're right. I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to prove to you that I should be the number one quarterback. And that's how he built himself into the number one quarterback in 1999 and then went on to win 7 Super Bowl championships. That's where he developed that chip on his shoulder to prove everybody wrong. And in the portal world, he would have just hit the portal, would not even had that conversation with Lloyd Carr, and would have gone somewhere else to be quarterback, and we maybe never have Tom Brady.
That's wild. I did not know about that.
All that from Dan Wetzel.
Yeah. And I
condensed for this newsletter.
I think there's probably going to be a lot of that out there, and we'll just never know.
Yep. All right, that's going to do it for Bud Light Game Afternoon instead of Game Night. Game Afternoon, you can go back and watch it tonight if you want to watch Bud Light Game Night. Lance'sLock.com. We got side on the NFL game tonight, crappy as the game may be.
Yeah, look, terrible game, Patriots-Steelers, but we do have a side on that. We've got a total in the NBA in the semifinals of the in-season tournament. That total is on the Pelicans-Lakers game, and we also have a side in college basketball. It is actually a free play, so I'll go to give you that. It's Iowa State, the Cyclones, -6.5, where it says right now with MyBookie.ag, taking on Iowa. Much like the Cy-Hawk Trophy in football, they play for the Cy-Hawk Trophy in basketball.
Oh, how about that? Carries over, huh?
Yep.
MyBookie.ag to play those games. MyBookie.ag code NextRound. They will match your sign-on bonus up to $1,000. Get that little bonus match when you sign on at MyBookie.ag with code NextRound. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, MyBookie.ag.
You think that salon over there does pedicures?
I don't see a salon.
No, it's the Jeremy. So the tight end, I'll just give you this, former tight end for the
Jeremy
Seattle
Stevens.
Seahawks.
Yeah.
And he dated Hope
Played at
Solo.
Miami, right?
Hope Solo's
It's Shockey.
It's Jeremy.
Shockey, yeah.
No, he played at Washington.
Jeremy Stevens did?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Jeremy Stevens' fault we ever had Hope Solo floating around there viral.
Are you? Was his photos, or
No.
she was sending them?
Well,
Yeah, they were sending it to Jeremy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's unfortunate.
Cool.
All right, that's going to do it. We will be back live with you tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock from the Floribama Army-Navy weekend, and then 11:30 to 12:30 on Saturday. We will have the Santa Drop live, weather permitting, Saturday. I just talked to our buddy Steve Powers, so we'll show it to you live from the Bama, weather permitting, on Saturday. But we'll be there tomorrow morning, no matter what the weather is. 9 a.m. at the Floribama. We will see you then. Come out to Walk-Ons, Stadium Trace, just off 150 and 459 in Hoover. Have a great meal tonight.
Can I
And
ask
enjoy
one
some
final
Bud Light.
question?
You may ask one final
What
question.
is the one thing when you're traveling? I suck at packing, by the way. Awful. Probably overthink it. What is the one thing that you forget most when
It
you're
used to be something in my toiletries. Here's how I combated that. And I don't travel a ton, but I still combat this. Everything I use on a daily basis, I buy 2 of them and put 1 in my travel bag.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, that way when I pull my travel bag off the shelf in the closet, it's ready to go. I don't have to add
So,
anything.
what I've learned there, my secret to that is I put the toiletry bag up on the vanity. And
When
the
you
day
use
I'm
it, you
picking
throw
up,
it. Use it,
and then
throw
I
it in.
put
Yeah.
everything that I'm using that day, and then I'll put them in once
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah. So I used to forget toiletries until I started doing that. So I just double up on everything. Anything I get, 2 deodorants, 2 whatever, and I put 1 in travel bag and 1 in my vanity.
This is the first trip to the Floribama where I'm not going to have to stop and buy toiletries. I actually remember to pack them this time.
Yeah, mine is the belt. Because, you know, what we do now, and it even goes back, we wear a lot of, like, joggers and loungewear.
Yeah, Tyler Watts called these pajamas today.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've all got them on, every one of us.
But if I put a belt on when I'm packing, then I'll remember.
Yeah.
I'll at least have that belt, and I'll throw another one out there. But now I forget.
You know what I do?
I forgot earlier today, and then I remembered. But I've gotten all the way to Montgomery, and they've got an awesome men's shop there. Shout out to the locker room. I had to stop there and get a belt one time.
What I do to combat that is, like, when I pick out the you're gonna drive?
Yep.
Okay. When I pick out the whatever I'm gonna wear, I go ahead and get that belt, or if I get the shoes, I just get the belt, roll it up, and put it in those shoes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
You guys know I'm a horrible drinker, right? I had too much wine last night.
oh no. Jimmy's a horrible drinker.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, when you were at Odie's, you weren't even drinking.
I know. I was drinking water.
Phone charger. Nicholas says phone charger. I keep one of those in my backpack. Just buy a phone charger, put it in your backpack.
I got to stop and get one for my car. Like the cable I keep in my car to connect.
It broke?
It is
I
broken.
thought you were talking about your jumper cables.
And I haven't replaced it.
Yeah.
Where do you keep your jumper cables?
I don't have any.
Do you have one of the
My bedroom? Is that the answer you're
Wow.
looking for?
No.
do you have a jump box? That's what you know what I'm talking about? It's a little box and you just clip the things on, turn it on, and it jumps your car off. It's way better than jumper cables.
I do have that. It's my garage. I don't have it in my car.
Oh, it's probably going to do you more good in your car if your car is dead, unless it's in the garage.
Brown, I drive a 2022 Alfa Romeo from Alfa Romeo Birmingham with 14,000 miles.
You listen to that? Yep. One time we go see him.
old Stelvio.
I mean, what?
That was the old landmine right there. We will not see Dunaway. Guys, I'm in Montgomery. My battery's dead.
By the way, jobs of the future today from 1440 newsletter. Deep sea miner may be the job of the future.
Miner? What are you mining? Like elements in
the elements at the bottom of the ocean floor in deep sea that may be needed for sustainable energy in the future, like for the batteries.
Dude, I have a tough time getting a quarter off the bottom of my pool with the damn pressure with my ears. To hell with that.
deep sea miner.
Can you see them down there?
It's so hard. That one swing takes forever.
And we're sitting here talking about this.
Yeah, they could be a school. That could be their mascot one day. The Sea Miners.
Hey, Jason says Brownie was right about Al Michaels calling the '84 Iron Bowl. I remember random.
No, you
stuff
said
like
bow over the top.
No, I said wrong way bow. That's '84.
I think you said bow over the top.
That is incorrect. You can go back and watch the tape.
No, you go back and watch. You said bow over
Okay,
the top.
what do you want to put on it? It's about to go. It's about to go on demand. We can go back and watch.
Fact checker is saying you said wrong way bow.
I said wrong way bow.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you were very certain about that, so now you're backing off.
Because I went and searched bow over the top, and that was Keith Jackson.
Yeah, wrong way bow.
Hey, is there any way we could, if we get bored, I know we've got like a conference call with the SEC.
That is right. Yep.
I've got a sales call. But if we got bored, we get into a place where we've all got good cell service, could we do a three-way Ask Us Anything?
We could try.
On the drive down?
Yeah.
Well, that's going to disrupt my drive down.
Yeah.
I enjoy my time.
Yeah, Jim wants to be silent.
gotta sing.
Talk to nobody.
I like singing little Zach Bryan.
I stay out too late.
All right, we got to end this thing because we got to hit the road. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. Come to Walk-Ons, 150 Stadium Trace. Enjoy some great Bud Light and have a great night.